Good morning, Lana Scott Lighthouse, guys. Welcome back to my channel. So this is an ancestor message. As you see, I got some ancestors standing here in the background. I've got some of my little statues that I have. I've got some Greek goddesses. I got a Celtic goddess there. I've got a statue of David. And they're going to represent the ancestors. So I decided to meditate this morning and ask a two-part question. Okay, and I got a wonderful response. So I asked the ancestors, what do we need to know about our past going into the future? Okay, and what I've got here, first of all, I have August, which is talking about meditating, focusing on the main things that we wanted to accomplish in the recent past. What did we want to birth into the world? What did we want to focus on going into the future to through all this, the solar eclipses, things about our past that we no longer wanted to carry forth into the future with us, breaking all kind of negative patterns, thought forms, breaking all kinds of releasing negativity, healing, growing, regeneration, higher mind being integrated more with conscious mind, okay, going into the 5D. And all that kind of stuff, okay? So this is talking about majorly in the recent past, focusing on what we do not want to carry with us going into the future, okay? And then we got, sorry about that. So then we've got protection. So your ancestors and your angels, your spirit guides, they have been protecting you, okay? There is a major protection room, but it's also a doorway. So I feel like this is kind of representing all the major astrological things we've had going on since Pluto went into Aquarius, going into a new thing, right? Something that hasn't happened in over 200 years, Pluto in Aquarius, right? And then at the end of August, we go back into Capricorn for end of August, September, and for a couple of months, I think it is. And then we go into Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 something years, right? So this while we were focusing on trying to, with all these things happening in the skies and stuff, we've opened up a lot of things. We've got that regeneration going on in the past, right? Coming more into, going toward more of the 5D. So that's an opening. And then we've got birth, Burka, the earth goddess, coming to yourself in some way. Maybe some of you have started a family. Maybe some of you have started a new business. You did a lot of birth. You got rid of a lot of negativity, right? And you were protected fully by the angels, the ancestors while you were doing it, which resulted in a lot of new gifts. I really feel like a lot of people are experiencing, I know I sure as heck am, and other people I've been listening to, they are too. Everybody seems to be going through a lot. And that seems like a gift from the universe itself, okay? This regeneration, this going, okay, and this is past, right? So it just feels like they're talking about a lot of things having, we've come through a lot. We've come through some regeneration and going into the future. So I asked for one card to represent what have we possibly accomplished, right? And I got out of the Heal Your Oracle deck. And guys, my new deck should come in today. Hopefully we're going to, because I've got to charge them and clean them and do a couple of things to them. So hopefully in the next couple of days, once I get them, I will be able to do a reading with them. But for the past, what I got was an overall energy for it was break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So having come through these eclipses and all this new stuff, we have changed how humanity has changed how things will go into the future, right? We've broken some kind of, maybe some of you have broke some soul patterns or different things that you've gotten rid of, that as you go into the future, you are now more spiritual. Maybe you are possibly talking to your angels and ancestors more. Maybe some of you are actually picking up energies that you didn't know that you actually could feel or hear. I know I've had what feels like some more angels and ancestors talking to me lately about where we're going in the future. So for the past, breaking the chain of negative, any kind of negativity that's been holding you back. Okay. So I feel like this card, when I pulled this card, I was like, well, yeah, we broke a lot of negative stuff, right? So, and if you notice here in the background, it's got the planets back here. It's got like these spirit, I always see some of these as other people. Sometimes I see these as spirit guides. You've got all these little bubbles in the background. And then she's standing here on this cliff. She's having come through all this, right? So maybe something, you broke some kind of, some people call them ancestral curses. I call them learned behavior patterns. If you've had alcoholism in your family, child abuse, those kind of things, and you stopped it, or you noticed you were the one that when your kids came along, you did something totally different, or you suddenly, got rid of these past things, right? That you broke the chain. And how you go forth now is what is going to go into your future, correct? So that was a past base card for that, okay? So then I asked, what do you need to take with you going into the future? Okay. What do you need to take with you going into the future? So then I got Othilla. Othilla's your foundation. It's your ancestral lands. It's your angels, your ancestors. So some of you have made a whole new foundation for yourself. You have seen the light, so to speak, and you have now broke some of the past ancestor or patterns that were in your family, in your life, and you are now starting something all new that your lineage angels and your ancestors have taken note of and are very proud of you for having done that, okay? Because now you have a lot of movement. Okay, and this is going into the near future, guys. Underneath that movement, we have Haggles, which is going through like opportunity disguised as loss, having gone through something, broke some kind of chain that maybe it was painful to do. Maybe you broke away from some family members. Maybe you moved away from your childhood home and moved halfway across the globe. They're saying you've somehow changed something that is no longer going to be in your family tree. And in the generations in the future in your line or in your lineage are going to prove to be where they're going to go, wow, this is the aunt or the uncle or the ancestor of mine that broke all this negativity that now my family line, that never crosses our path anymore. It got abolished. Okay, so guys, take that how it resonates. That is a wonderful message. And now you are starting this new, from you on, everything's going to be different. Okay, all this stuff has gotten rid of. Maybe you even talk about it. Okay, because I'm looking at the other cards we have on the table, and I pulled 3 of them for going into the future. And the guys, this is an absolutely wonderful message for any of you that are consciously changing things in your family tree. Okay, and then the next thing we got opening. So they're saying this is going to create a bunch of new stuff, soul illumination, new openings in how you deal with things on a day-to-day basis, and the ones that come after you go into the future. That become your great-grandchildren's ancestors. You will be their ancestor, correct? So, or your family tree in whatever way. A lot of this is where they'll be able to go back in time on your timeline and they'll be able to see where you broke that chain. Okay, so that's going to open up a lot of new stuff for your family. And the reason why I say that is because then we have Burka, which is the earth rune. This is maybe even possibly the family side, maybe new children being born. New ideas, birthing all kinds of new things. Maybe even there was something that your family always did. You decided you didn't want to do it anymore, and you're on more of a spiritual path than anyone in your family. So you have birthed something new, correct? Because now the ones that come after you are going to say, well, gee, she went and maybe literally preached in the streets, or just whatever you start new, okay? Because then we have August, and August is talking about kicking the past to the curb, being protected, knowing you're on the right path, going into the future, right? So it just feels like a lot of you have somehow in some way changed something major that's going to be different in starting with you going into the future, okay? Either a new business or how y'all do things, or like you're not going to do things the same way you used to, okay? And this is going to bring in a lot of rewards going into the future and also a lot of more flow, okay? Because then we have Fihu and we have Laguz, and that's talking about more rewards, more of a rewarding life, more maybe if you've changed up the way your family's always done, what kind of work you've done on your spiritual path, or even a physical job that you do. It's going to bring in a lot more rewards. Maybe you've discovered you're the first healer, and all your family's always been, say, fishermen, and all of a sudden now you start a healing practice. And going into the future, the ones that come after you, they're more inclined to want to do the healing stuff than they did the physical work, or they want to change it up somehow, some kind of way. Okay, it brings a lot more flow. Okay, take that how it resonates. Here, I'm going to put these up here like this into one solid line. Okay, because that was a little sub message there. All right, so then I asked for some cards to help explain this. Okay, so what they gave me was, first they gave me Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So maybe you have done a major karmic clearing of yourself. Maybe you releasing from the past these the way things have always been done. You have released, you've brought all this new light into your family after having gone through this. Okay, you have unbound all these negative energies, or what some people call ancestral curses. I call them learned behavior patterns. Maybe you were the first one that took a vow of, well, we're never going to drink in my family, or we're never going to, we shy away from drugs, or we shy away from having done whatever it was we've always done. Okay, in some sort of way, you have definitely done that. They're saying you have brought new success. Okay, and maybe this is just something that's on an unconscious level. This doesn't necessarily have to be something on the conscious level. Okay, take it how it resonates. And a lot of it happened during this solar eclipse. Okay, you've called back your power, you've cut the cords, you've had some kind of soul retrieval. If you felt like maybe you did some major healing during the time up 6 months before the eclipse and going into the future, maybe you were somebody that was in something that was very damaging, that you needed to do a lot of emotional healing, and you went through some kind of healing. Maybe you went to a counselor, maybe in whatever way you decided to heal yourself, you were able to retrieve and patch the scars and the wounds that are in your heart. You were able to come more into yourself. Again, maybe this is somebody that moved on the other side of the earth, right? Maybe you moved from one in the United States to the other. In some sort of way, you are now more whole. Does that make sense? You have pulled all these things together. You have somehow rebirthed more wholeness inside of yourself, okay? Or in a practical level. Take it how it resonates, okay? Maybe now you're a speaker. This card is share your voice. Come out of the cave, persecution, expression. Maybe you no longer feel persecuted. Maybe now you're a speaker, and you go around and you speak about child abuse, or something that your family did that now you do something else, and how much better your family is. In some sort of way you express this. Maybe you're an artist or a singer, okay? In some sort of way you now, through creative expression, are able to finish healing your family tree or your family line, or healing yourself, okay, in whatever way that is. And you talk about it, you write about it, you sing about it, you share it with other people. Maybe you get together with other people of like mind. In whatever way you are being now creative, you are now finishing up that healing, going into the future, and it feels like a much better place to you than where you've come from. You're now shedding light in some kind of way that's helping other people. Okay, so take that how it resonates. Again, you're no longer holding back. You are now in that way. You are building a new foundation for yourself going into the future. You are shedding light on something that other people didn't want to talk about, or you're being more creative in talking about it. Maybe you're an artist that was just doing art at home, and all of a sudden you decide to have an art show, and through a series of pictures, you are now showing where you used to be, what you went through, and how you've come out on it. And somebody else sees it and they like it so much, you sell your work, and they put it on somewhere in a big place like New York or Chicago, or somewhere where they do art. And through the expression of your art, because you've come out of your shell, you've come out of the cave, you're able now to tell other people and heal something, okay? Take it how it resonates. Again, guys, all right? Or maybe you even have seen bits and parts of your past lives that you've decided to talk about. Who cares if people look at you and say, you what? You saw something you were, okay, because there's these these Egyptian pyramids in the background. I feel like those that are talking about their seeing bits and parts of their past lives, maybe in a dream or something, in some way they're talking about it because they're now seeing from where they've come from, where they're going. Okay, it brings a lot of clarity in. Okay, so guys, again, take it how it resonates. All right, but in whatever way you are now no longer feeling persecuted, you're expressing yourself, you're sharing your voice, and you're helping other people by doing this. Okay, you're more in touch with your healing abilities. Okay, so guys, that's what I've got for y'all this morning. I feel like this is an awesome message that is telling us where we've been at in the past, okay, with breaking this chain, right? And now going into the future with this wonderful new foundation, being stronger and releasing all this stuff and calling back your power and now talking about it. All right. So guys, that's what I have for you this morning. I hope this resonated with somebody. And guys, please like, subscribe, and share. If any of you found that this touched home in a certain way, put it down in the comments, or maybe even put a link to something that you've done, that you have done that is now sharing your voice, guys. Or maybe even, if you're starting a new channel and you're talking about your art or your writing or you're in some way that you've called your power back, share it with other people so that they can learn something new. They can get rid of something from the past or something that they've let go of that can help somebody that maybe isn't out, maybe it's somebody that's a homebody that doesn't get out as much. They see your message and they say, gee, I could do that. Maybe I could do that and I could share my voice. We are all here to help each other. Everyone's on their own path. And I really would like to see this in some sort of way help other people. So, or if you know someone that needs to hear this message, pass it on to them, because the biggest power, the biggest thing that you have is always word of mouth advertising, always sharing your voice, letting other people know what you've gone through, what you've achieved, what you've overcome, helping other people that don't feel as empowered, more powered. That's what going into the future is talking about, is being healed and becoming more higher mind, joined up with conscious mind, becoming stronger, being more powerful, using your voice, your art, your words, your songs to empower other people. Okay? All right, guys, be a light in the darkness. Lighthouse.